All right, welcome back to another episode. The next episode, Dr. Dre fans, listen up. 2001, what a fantastic album. Sparky Coach, Potty, Crowy here, hanging out, listen out for... We're going to talk about, in this podcast, who are you working with? Kind of think of this like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Who is your daddy and what do they do? Who are you working with and what do they do? Right, I'm going to go back to a 19 or 18-year-old Greg Crow, fresh out of Compton, fresh out of Kirrawee High School, straight into what do I want to do. I'm going to bodyboard as much as I possibly can around the reef breaks, around Cronulla and South Coast, and took a gap year, aka sick. This is so good. Driving my 1987 yellow Ford Laser with giant rust holes in it. I remember me and Tomo driving to surf this wave headlands in, I guess I won't say where it is, but whatever. It's a pretty open spot in Austin here. And it was raining, and I swear, like, it was flooding. The car was flooding, ankle deep in water, pressing the clutch in, straight into water. There was some dangerous activity just pouring in, and it was nuts. The car kept going like an Energizer bunny. I think I was getting 400 Ks or something like that to the tank, pretty nuts. But doing a lot of bodyboarding and doing a lot of nothing, and probably playing Snake on my 3210. Finally realized I should get a job. And I think I was doing some odd stuff, and then I sort of found myself in Guymere Pizza Hut delivering pizzas at nighttime, right? So Guymere Pizza Hut, tucked away in a little side street of Guymere Shopping Centre, Guymere Shopping Village, you might even say. And I was doing it at nighttime so I could surf in the day and go to work at 4, 5, 6 and work till 10, 11, 12, deliver heaps of pizzas to heaps of stoned people, more than likely. I remember this one guy, I was a bit late to him. His guy was like, so stoned, and he goes, "Oh man, can I get a discount?" Like the reddest eyes you've ever seen. And I was like, "Nah, man." And he was like, I was like, "Okay, just hand it over the money, all good." And I remember another person had a couple, maybe too many beers, and gave me like a $32 tip. $32 tip when you're earning $5 or $6 an hour. This is some huge money. This is some Kanye West style dollar bill, y'all, hanging right in the pocket. I was telling everyone, $32 tip. That's gonna fill my petrol up for probably 300 Ks. Amazing times. Back when petrol was probably under the dollar, if you remember those days. Great days. But Pizza Hut, yeah, it was pretty. It was a means to an end for me. It was not my ideal job, something that was just going, and I did it. Now here's what I want to get to. There was this really, really overzealous manager, like super frothing, probably had like quadrant leadership tattoos on his back, probably read every single leadership book going around, like was using your name in the right places, like super good at sales. I hate sales, by the way, but like just did everything right, and like, oh yeah, Crowy, we see you as part of the furniture here, like, you know, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, mate, this if you work at Pizza Hut, I'm sorry, but like this job sucks. Like, this is not my ideal. You know, I'm not going to be 30 driving pizzas around to stoned people, right? Not on the goal to-do list. Anyway, I remember this guy was like really overzealous, really trying to get you in and pin you on like long-term conversations, financial goals, trying to essentially make me something that I wasn't, which was a long-term employee. Let me say that again. This guy was trying to make lemonade with apples, right? He didn't have lemons. Life wasn't giving him lemons, and he wasn't making lemonade. Life was giving him bad apples, aka 19-year-old myself, and he was now trying to make freshly squeezed lemonade out of it. And I've been really thinking recently about this and about how this applies to your business and your business journey and your business day-to-day life. How many times or how often are you trying to make freshly squeezed delicious lemonade with a bad apple? Go with me here. How many times are you or have you tried to make a staff member something they weren't? I remember this one time, it was like, we were renting a house in Newbar, which is like, I guess, hinterland Byron, while our house was getting renovated. And we had this like rat infestation. And I guess the rule with rats is that if you see one, there's a dozen. And we were seeing a couple. This is psycho. I remember one day sleeping and this rat like came into our room, and our bed was on the ground at the time. And I remember there's nothing less sexy than a rat in your room. That's pretty much the antithesis of sexy, right? This is not what you want. This is not what you signed up for. And this rat came in and it's running around, it's running over our bed, and I'm trying to get it. And 3 a.m., do some crazy things at 3 a.m. I've got like a broom, like trying to hit it. And I go like setting up this crazy net system, realizing the net system was cooked and there was no chance of catching this rat. And I was just like, this is the worst thing. Finally, it scurried back down the hallway and I was like, oh, back to sleep. Anyway, one night, sleeping on my side. And then this is not good. Feeling this scratching on the back of my head, wake up, there's a rat on the back of my head. You like just kind of gently, I don't know if it was a massage. Maybe he was trying to do something nice. Maybe it was like, thanks for the hospitality. Thanks for the accommodation. Buying rents are pretty expensive. Thanks for helping me and my family out. And I'm just like my head, I can still feel it. Have you ever had something that you can still feel? You ever had something that happened to you, whether it was a feeling or a moment, and you're like, oh, I can still feel that. I can still feel this rat. And I haven't had a haircut since like Samson, but I just remember just going like, that is genuinely disgusting. And I remember waking up in the morning. If you got young kids, you understand, like if they wake up and they want food. I remember going to the fruit bowl and the rats they were just loving the avocados. Maybe it was avocado season. They were pretty good at the time. But I remember picking up this avocado and it's like gnawed on one side. I remember looking at it going like, yeah, half of it's still good. like literally cutting off the gnawed pieces and then like getting the good half and then putting it on toast for my 2 or 3 or 4 year old. No, I actually think I threw it out. But I remember a moment in time I considered this is probably edible. Now, it took these avocado moments and it took this disgusting head massage, right? If it took all this stuff for me to go, enough is enough. I've had enough. Enough. I've had enough. This needs to stop. Something needs to change. So I called the pest guy and he was like, make sure you lock up all your food for 2 weeks and put some stuff around and bits and pieces. Anyway, a couple of weeks later, no rat problem, right? No rat problem. So what had gone from gentle head massages to sleep now was not a thing. And it got me thinking, this whole sort of like one bad apple ruins a batch. How many dirty rats are you putting up with in your business? How many underperforming staff members are you looking at one side of the avocado going ugh, no job notes, disrespectful, talking back, consistently late, rude to clients, not recognizing variations, not getting what I needed, they're consistently doing burnouts with the 20-inch rims down Manies, all this kind of stuff. Like, how long are you going to put up with an underperforming apprentice or tradie? How long? Because generally speaking, I'd say our ideal client, when Cam and I started Sparky Coach, our ideal client, someone we wanted to work with, was someone that would change Betty's light globe and not charge her. That was pretty much how we framed it up. It wasn't like we want to work with sexy Sparkies. It wasn't like we want to work with like really tall Sparky. It was like we want to work with people that are kind-hearted and good-natured, and they will turn up to Betty's house, Betty being an 85-year-old widow, and they would change Betty's light globe, and they would be like, Betty, no charge for today. And Betty would try and swing you $20, and you're like, Betty, come on. Like, a standard call-out fee is $100. This is a $250 job. I don't want your $20. Although I'll take it, right? Give me the lobster. Give me the lobster. Give me the lobster, Betty. Give me the lobster. I'll spend it on some red frogs at the lolly shop. But I remember our client was someone that would do those things. And I really hope you're doing something like that. I'm not saying every single job. And you would have heard me say before, making sure that if you're going to give something away for free, and I'm just off like anyone, oh, don't call it free, call it complimentary. Can everyone just get stuffed and just start to be real and start to just communicate honestly? What does the world need? The world needs honest tradies. And no one cares if you're making a good living or not, but let's make a good living honestly. Let's not try and upgrade Betty's switchboard or spray some fake smoke up across her smoke detector so it misses it and then go, oh, okay, Betty, you might need to upgrade your smoke detectors. Oh, the expiry date says it's, just you can get stuffed. If you're seriously taking the piss on things, you can honestly, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself, before Betty's son-in-law rains down with some kind of machete and chops your tires to pieces and sells your 20-inch rims back to 50 cent where you bought them from, right? Funny story, you would have heard me say this before. No, I can't say it. I won't say it. I'll tell you another time. I've said it before in a podcast, but I will not say it again. Where were we? Oh yeah, ideal client was someone that would do those things for Betty. PG, G or PG, preferably not MMA, things for Betty. We want to do things for Betty. We want to make sure it's above board, if you know what I'm saying, right? Anyway, we digress. Okay, what are we saying? So we're working with good-natured, kind-hearted, honest people that want to make an honest living. That honest living should be pretty significant dollars. That's fine. I'm super cool with that. I want you to make awesome money, and we've got calculators that predict that, and we've got calculators that show you what you need to do to get to that point. But I think you can do it really ethically, really honestly, and really kindly, and treat people well while doing some good things, right? That's fantastic. Anyway, most clients we attract, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, and most clients actually in general reaching out for coaching anywhere, generally want to work on the business and generally have the wisdom to realize, I don't know what I don't know. I'll say that again. I don't know what I don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And it's amazing when someone sits outside your business and looks in, the direction and they can give. Once you get the direction, you get the motivation. And once you get the accountability, you get you tap into some sort of trade God energy source that sets you on a trajectory for success. And that's what we want. But most people reaching out for coaching are generally good-natured, kind people that just haven't quite made the business work. And there's probably 5 to 10 major items that will make your business work. So if you're currently driving somewhere going, my business sucks, my life sucks, everything sucks, just reach out. Just let us know. We'll get you in a strategy session, and we'll sort of show you what you can do with your what might feel like a trade God ordained liability right now can actually be an asset. It can actually be an asset. You can turn this thing around. I'll turn this damn bus around. You can turn your damn bus around. You can turn your damn business around, Chris Farley style from Billy Madison. But generally speaking, most people reaching out to coaching companies are good people, good-natured, honest, like I was saying. The danger of this is that they will put up with something for too long. And it might be an underperforming staff member. Maybe you don't know how to have difficult conversations. This week in Sparky Coach, the big dog, Woofity, Cam McCracken, delivered a great session on having challenging conversations in and around staff performance reviews. I like personally calling them staff catch-ups. I just don't really resonate with the performance review. It feels like every time someone comes into your office, they're going to get a pay rise, and you're like Oprah Winfrey, you get a pay rise, you get a pay rise, you get a pay rise. And if you don't know how to talk about money, and you don't know how to buy yourself some time, you'll just be granting pay rises like you're the genie from Aladdin, and it's just not, you just can't do that, right? A pay rise has to come with a level of expectation, with a level of commitment, with a level of long-term sacrifice, a level of something in order to recognize that it's not a one-sided tree we're watering. We've got to water both sides of the tree, right? So you've got to do your part and I'll do my part, but I can only do my part when you do your part. Let's work together to create something brilliant, right? That's how you want to staff catch up to sort of go. But generally speaking, a lot of people struggle and I remember my journey, you would have heard my journey, I was like, I'm just going to say this story. I remember this one guy, I knew he wasn't a good fit from the start. It just wasn't very good. And and I remember getting to the end. Oh my god. Oh, like I remember his dad, like we got this job with his dad, and we were like hole sawing Coro sheets where there was like there was downlights in this like Coro sheeted ceiling, so you had to get those bases with the Coro and sort of make it flat and then put it up there. But his dad was like, his dad took the drill off an apprentice. And he goes, "Give it to me, give it to me. Watch me do it. Watch me." I think the apprentice was having a bit of trouble, like 90mm hole sawing through the inconsistencies and irregularities of the Coro. So he's just like, "Give me the drill, man. Get off the ladder. Give him the drill." Pretty like short, stocky dude. Not blessed by the tool gods, you might say. Jumps on this ladder, like 6-foot ladder, top or second one down, whatever. Just literally just like with a whole saw. Just my eye, my eye. He just jumps off the ladder. He's like His hands like he sounds like a bird. He's like caw, 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 my eye, my eye, my eye. And he's like walking around site. Anyway, long story short, no metal in the eye, just hypochondriac. It was honestly like a comedy skit. If you were watching that on Saturday Night Live or something, you'd be like, this is some gold star quality stuff. This is awesome, man. Anyway, so had this guy, right? So the apple didn't fall far from the tree, you might say. And I just knew it wasn't going to work out. But you get busy. And what happens when you get busy? You get tired. What happens when you get tired? You make some bad decisions. But what happens when you get busy? You start to, if you're not careful, you start to get on that sort of washing machine, dry, hamster wheel, treadmill sort of situation. And you start to let things slide. Goo Goo Dolls, right? Slide. Great song. But you start to let things slide. So what used to be unacceptable, i.e. turning up 7 minutes late, i.e. sending the wrong person to the right job, i.e. getting quotes back too late. What used to be unacceptable in your company culture now becomes acceptable because near enough's good enough because we've got stuff to do. We've got things to do. And this is where you've got to be working on the business. If you heard the last potty I did, it was about doubling your admin time. So take it and double it because that's what you need to do to grow a successful business. And anyway, so long story short, got to the end of the apprenticeship and he's like, what pay am I going to get as a tradie? And I was like, spat out the foamy latte. Todd, I get farty and bloated on a foamy latte. I was like, what? You're not a tradie? Put it back in. This milk is not hot. This is cold. I'm like, get stuffed. You're not ready. And I was looking at myself. I was blaming myself. I was like, I've just graduated someone's come through my company that's 100% well and truly not ready, right? Like not ready. And I was just like shoulders down, head down, gah. Have you ever felt that? Like, gah, like, I held on for them. Why? Like, why? There's no spot for them. Here's the thing. Listen up. All right. So I remember, I remember him coming over to my house. I was like, can we have a beer this afternoon? This is when and I was like, I don't have a spot for him and I'm going to have to tell him. And I reckon the hardest times of your life are like the hardest times in my business life were either letting someone go or having no work. They were just genuinely really difficult times. I remember I invited him over for a beer and he comes into the house. I think he knew what was coming. And I was like, oh, hey, like, how are you? Like, comes in, sits at our back deck table. So you got to go right way through our house to get to the back table at the time and crack him a stone and wood bottle, sit there, we cheers. I'm like, I'm so sorry, man. I don't think there's a space for you into the future. Just next the beer, right? Because you got to think, like, if you're ordering a coffee with someone or a beer with someone that you're letting go, chances are the conversation, it's like a 60-second conversation. You go pretty quickly. But your beer is going to last for 10 minutes. So you just next his beer, gets up, it says thanks, and then like I think he shook my hand or threatened to punch me. I was like, no, he didn't threaten to punch me. We're cool. If I saw him down the street, it's cool. But like it just wasn't a great fit for our company. Next his beer, storms out, and I was just like, gah. And if you ever felt that in your business, I stuffed up. Like I knew that from the start. So from there, what do you take away from that? I was like, right business, right clients, wrong staff. Now, I was watching this thing, and this is what we're in now. We're in a bit of a trade shortage, right? So if you've tried to find a tradie, you probably can't because they're not around every single corner. And what's happening is, if you can't find them, you got to create them, and you create them via apprentices. And what we needed at this time was a good and solid and great tradie. What we got, I sat with someone for 4 years through their apprenticeship, and they came out of our process, came out of my company, a massive kook, and I was unable to use them. And the next apprentice was the year back. So I was like, so what happened was I lost my tradie that I should have created. So holding on to the wrong staff member, it wasn't bad for him, but it was. It wasn't just bad for the company, but it was. It was bad because people were like, I don't want to work with them. Clients were like, I don't want to work with them. It was just bad because I missed my organic chance to produce something great. And flash back to reality. Well, there goes gravity. Flash back to when you're a second year apprentice or 2.5 years or 3 years in. Chances are you were awesome, or chances are you've seen a second or third year apprentice be absolutely outstanding, be absolutely fantastic, be absolutely like, holy crap, this person is better than a tradie, right? We've all seen that, and that should be the person coming through your ranks. They should be coming through your ranks well, effectively, well trained, well oiled, well inducted, well indoctrinated, and just slide straight into be charged as a tradie. So I learned a couple of things. Don't hold on to someone who's not a good fit. Sorry, let me rephrase that. You don't have to hold on to someone who's not a good fit. This is where like the 1 month, 2 month, and 3 month probation like comes in, like the 1 month catch up, 2 month and 3 months. Make sure you are right on top of working out in the first 3 months if someone's a good fit or not. Someone can fool you for 1 week, fool you for 2 weeks. They're not going to fool you for 3 months. There's no way. So anyone that comes in your company, have some kind of like minimum 3 month probation with like a 1 month check-in. Apprentices, with your apprentices, catch up with them 12 to 18 months out of it before they finish their time and be like, hey, Joey, hey, Susie, hey, Jimmy, you're going to be charged as a tradie in 12 to 18 months time. How are you feeling about that? Because there's a big emotional weight that comes with a charge. You're going to be charging them at, maybe they were charged at $65 now you're going to 120 or something. You're pretty much doubling their charge at rate. And obviously there's a level of expectation and layer that your price book's built to that needs to handle a quality and good tradie. So it's like, set them up for success. Set your staff members up for success. Have the early conversations, the early intervention, and push them through the production line and make sure they're finishing, they're graduating with flying colors, with flying marks, that they can be integrated straight into your company because they know all the clients, they know all the staff members, they know the systems, they know the procedures. To train someone else is going to cost you a fair bit of money. But to bring someone up organically, this is why it's so important to hold on to your staff members. To bring someone up organically and to have those long-term staff members, you've got such an asset in your staff members. So, but you've got to be able to, like flashing back to the start of the potty, you've got to be able to recognize, like, is this person a good fit for the company? And they might be no. Yeah, it might be a black and white yes, no. And it might be that they were, but they're not anymore. And this comes down to like regular catch-ups with the staff members and going like, okay, do I need to get this rat out of my house, get this head massage to stop happening at night time? Or do I need to confront some poor or bad or undermining behavior and raise the quality up? And this is where weekly staff meetings, quarterly catch-ups, all this stuff, like open, transparent, honest communication, like say what you mean what you say, don't say it mean, the ability to have those big conversations, is all playing into it. And I want to encourage you, you're born for this. You're born for these big conversations. And I'll tell you why, because you're honest. And honest, if you're honest, pride yourself in that you're going to have these big conversations. Why? Because they're honest. You're not going to call a spade a shovel. Actually, that's probably the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. You're not going to call, you're going to call a spade a spade. You're going to call it out, right? If someone's underperforming, you don't want to call out every negative point, but if you're not happy with something, call it out. If there's an underperforming staff member, call it out. If someone's not a good fit, you need to call it out. If you're not working for the right clients, you need to call it out. So it's like you take back control, take back ownership, take back Sunday If you're into that early 2000s pop punk music, probably more punk than pop, maybe I'll get hammered about that online, who knows. But take back control of the business and recognize, okay, I see too many good people hold on to too many average staff members for too long, and it costs them their chance to have that next tradie. It costs them the chance to raise someone else up. It costs them the time, energy, and effort spent inputting into this person. And sometimes it costs some other staff members because no one wants to work with that person because they suck, because they're lacking energy, because their work sucks, because of heaps of reasons. And sometimes it costs you your clients because they're like, oh, you had the right client, you had the right job, and you sent the wrong person. So I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you. Do you have the right people in your company? Do you need to let go of someone politely? Or do you need to challenge someone politely to raise them up to the standard that you once started your business for? You started your business to do excellent work with excellent people. That's probably it. We use excellent staff members to work for excellent clients and make excellent money. That's probably why you started. So my challenge to you is be excellent. Don't accept anything less. Be excellent, be awesome, be yourself, be kind, be loving to your staff members. Know when to call something out, use your gut feel, use your intuition, use your third eye, use the trade gods, whatever you want to call it. Be awesome, be excellent. So yeah, challenge accepted. Maybe get back to work. See you soon.